Hey everyone, this is Bremster, and I'm coming to you now with my 50th video, 50. And for this puzzle, I was sent this puzzle by Riffclown, and I'll get to that one in a moment. I'm going to just chat for a bit first. Um, when I started this during lockdown, I never thought I would get to 50 videos. I did it because of a hard puzzle that I'd set, and I wanted people to have the ability um, to be able to solve that very hard puzzle. And I did a video just for some friends, and then I decided to do a more professional one, or one that is on it's my first video on the channel, the Psycho Alien puzzle. I wanted people to be able to solve that puzzle because I thought it was too hard to be almost humanly solvable, but I liked the break in. And I posted that video, and it was watched by like 10 people, but I enjoyed the process, so I did another one. And then one of my friends who did see it said, well, I've got a puzzle, would you mind doing it for mine? And I did that, and like my friends got behind me, and I did some more, and then it started getting some attention, and people started submitting puzzles, and it just kind of grew. And over the last sort of nearly 3 months, I've done now 50 videos, and it just blows my mind that's happened. Um, so when I did my 42nd, which was a big one, Riffclown sent me this puzzle to because 50 was coming. But before I talk about this puzzle, I do want to just quickly send out some thanks. I want to thank the people who've supported me the most. Two of my setters, the people who've sent me puzzles to do, Sotek and Panthera, who have been behind me the whole time. Zailran, who sent me one of my first puzzles um, to do. Ashish Kumar, who gave me permission to do some of his paid content, to promote his work, and to show off his great puzzles, as well as to the following people who've sent me puzzles. Just very quickly, I want to thank Pause, Zegrez, Zombie Hunter, Akash Dulani, Clover, Jackson Griggs, Scott Strossal, Joseph Neme, Riffclown, Tallcat, Philip Newman, Piotr V, John Ambrose, Memorista, Potato Head 21, Crusader 175, Tiganus, and Polycarp. Those are the people who have either permitted me to do their puzzles when I've requested, or sent puzzles to me, and I really appreciate it. There's some huge names there, and it's humbling that they trust me with their puzzles to be able to present them to others. People have asked me, how can they support me doing this? And I don't need support, apart from emotional support quite often, because my health is a bit of a roller coaster. I do not need actual support to do this because it is just a hobby. I'm never going to take it to another level. But if you do want to support, and how you support me is by supporting the following people. Ranksk. Ranksk's Sudoku channel and his Patreon are well worth a look. And supporting the work that he does for the community, I would highly recommend that you look into that and support him. That is one of the best ways you could support me. The other way that you could support me, which is just as good, is Enthralling Sudoku by Ashish Kumar. His Patreon puzzles are what got me into this and through the times. And on the topic of 50, my 50th birthday, I was supposed to be in Europe, but COVID prevented that from happening. And I spent my entire 50th birthday just doing Enthralling Sudoku Patreon puzzles by Ashish Kumar, and it was not a horrible way to spend my 50th birthday, sitting right where I'm sitting now doing Sudoku from Ashish Kumar. So I highly recommend that you go and check out his Patreon and support his puzzles because they're well worth the money. And if you want to support me, support those two people. Cracking the Cryptic, I think anyone who's looking at me is probably supporting them already. But subscribe to Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles, to Scott Strassal's channel, and if you haven't, I don't know why you're here, have a look at Cracking the Cryptic. They're pretty good at this. I just wanted to thank all of those people for getting me to where I am. And now let's get to the bit that you're actually interested in, and let's talk about this puzzle. I had recorded or attempted to record a video on this puzzle before. I have said all of that now before. And I failed. I completely tanked the puzzle, but I'm not worried about the concept of attempting a puzzle again. So this is my second attempt at Take 5 by Riffclown. This is a puzzle that he sent me for my 50th because I think of the big 5 in the middle. This was not created for this. This absolutely not. This is a puzzle he'd already released into the wild well before my 50th was a sparkle in my eye. But thematically it's appropriate. I don't expect people to create puzzles for me or my channel. That's not the way this works. I just want cool puzzles to solve. And this is one of them. So let's see how I go. I am going to try and do this. So, the rules. This one's a bit of a twist, and it's a bit of a twist that scares me, so I will be having my lockout line list on another screen, because though I'm going to try and not use it as much. So, in every box, in every row and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. Now, the green lines, which is all of them, are whisper lines, which means that any digits placed adjacent on a whisper line must be at least 5 apart. Now, this has the implication that you cannot put a 5 on a whisper line because 5 below is a 0, 5 above is a 10, and other digits get constrained by the values around them. But this central 5, as well as being a whisper line, and I did it right the first time, but I didn't that one. This central 5, as well as being a whisper line, is also a lockout line with the different lockout segments being separated by these diamonds. And what that means is on a lockout line, the digits in the diamonds must be at least 4 apart, and the digits on the lines between the diamonds cannot be either in the diamonds or between the diamonds. So they must be, the digits within the diamonds are locked out of the boundary. So they're kind of reverse between lines, but with the constraint that the diamonds must be at least 4 apart. And with that, this puzzle is solvable, although not the first time by me. So let's give this a shot. I will put a link to the puzzle, of course, and everything below, as well as a link to bypass all of this preamble. So, low-high highlighting. We know a 3 is below 5, and because of the way a whisper line works, because of the 5 difference, and you can't put a 5 on it, of course, every digit will leapfrog the 5. So the digit next to the 3 will have to leapfrog to above the 5, and then leapfrog to below the 5. So you can low-high highlight this entire line. And then I can mark all the high digits. So I know that all of the blue digits will be low, all of the high, I'm actually not going to use orange, I'm going to use yellow because I find it easier to see. All of the yellow digits will be high. Now, 5 puts 5 into one of those two, but there's a 5 looking at that one, so there's a 5 there. And the reason is because I can't put a 5 onto that line. 5 goes into one of those 3. 5 is in one of those 2. 5 in this box can't go there, can't go there, can't go there, and that 5 knocks it out of there. So that's a 5, which means in this box 5 is in one of those 2. Oh, except this. 5 in this box must be in that row, so it can't be there, and that becomes a 5. So we've got 5 there, there, and there, and no way of limiting that down. But it did give me a bunch of 5s. Yeah, let's not go there. Okay, so 3 on a lockout line. This must be at least 4 different from 3. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 7, 8, or 9. 4 different from 7, 8, or 9 could be any of 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I go to 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't put a 4 on this because if I was to put a 4 on it, I would need to put a 9 on either side because this is also a whisper line. So this is 1, 2, or 3. This is 3 different, has to be 7, 8, or 9. This goes down to 1, 2, 3, 4. This could be 4 because I could put 9 in both of those. And this goes to 6, 7, 8, 9, and I could put 6 there. Now, oh, that's interesting. I can't. This needs to be low. If this was a 1, I would lock out every low digit because this would be 1, this would be 6, 7, 8, or 9, and I would not be able to put any of 1, 2, 3, or 4 into that cell. This cannot be a 1. Does that mean the same there for 9? If I put a 9 there, then I would, between that and the low digit, I would lock out every high digit. That must be 7 or 8. And I think the same as here. If this was a 9, then by the time I got down to the low digit, I would have locked out every high digit, and there must be a high digit on the line. And the same, I think, is true there. So this is a 7, 8. This can't be a 9, because if it was a 9, it would lock out the high digit there. There's got to be more I can do. This can't be a 1 because it would lock out the low digit. This is 2, 3, or 4. So what are the options for in here? With 2 or 3 on whisper lines, I can't do 6 because I don't have a 1. I can do 7, 8, or 9. But if I did 7, these would be 1, 2, or 1, 2. That can't be an 8. If this was 7, this would be 2, this would be 1. And these are 1, 2, or 3. And if this was 8 and 9, that could be 3. 3, well, I have to lock out something with the 3 and the high digit. So this has to be 1 or 2. This has to be 1 or 2. So I've got a 1, 2 pair there. If this was a 2, the only digit I would lock out is 1, and both of those would have to be a 1. That has to be a 3. So because if you put, I'll just show that. If I put 2 here, if I put 2 here, then the only low digit I would be locking, that I would be able to place, low digit I'd be able to place on the lockout line, but that isn't included. 3 and 4 would be locked out and 2 is already in the row. I'd have to put 1 in both of those, and that doesn't work. So this is a 3, and this is a 1, 2 pair. I've got a 1, 2 pair in the column. So this has to be locked out using either a 7 or an 8. So if I was to put a 6 in here, it would be between those. If I was to put a 7 in here, then it would either be that or between them. So this has to be an 8 or a 9. If this is a 7, it can be either. If it's an 8, it's a 9. This is a 7 or an 8, so this has to be an 8 or a 9. This is a lot more constrained than I thought. This can't be 6, so this is 7 or 9, and it can't be 6 because I'd have to put 1 on both sides, and I can't put 1 there at all. This If this is 2, 6, this can be 1. If this can be 1, 2, or 3. I can never put a 4 here because 4 would never be locked out of the line. I can never put a 4 in the middle. So this is 1, 2, 3 as well. And that's if both of those are 4 and both of those are 9. So if that's a 4 and both of those are 9, these could be 3. Six, 1. This would have to be 2. I'm not seeing anything inherently wrong with that. So I can never put a 6 on a line because I can't. Well, this has to be 8 or 9, similar to these ones, because that's 7, 8. This one can be 7 because that can be 6. So that's an 8 or a 9. This can be 3 because that can be 4. Okay. So what else can I figure out? Now that's a high digit. Oh, these. So I'm going to color these differently. That, and that are all the same, and then those are different. Now these two have to be different. So one of these is going to be high, one of these is going to be high. So this is going to be 2 low and a 5. So both of these have to be high. So these are 6, 7, and 9. Does that tell me? No. But it means one of those is high, and I've got 3 high. This must be low. Actually, I think both of those must be low. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, and I've already got the 5. All of those must be low. So these, that's from 3 or 4, because I've got the 1, 2 in the column. These are from all of 1, 2, 3, or 4. But that, and that are low. These are high. This is 7, 8, or 9 because I can't put a 6 because I'd have to put 1 on both sides. But that could be a 6. This is tricky. So I've got 2 lows in here, but I'm not sure where. Oh, I need to put a 3 in there because of those 2 3s. What can I figure out about this? I've got to put a 3, 4, and another high in here. I don't see how to limit that. And I'm also going to highlight these different colors. This is not saying they're the same colors as these. They could be different. I'm just saying these two must be the same and these two must be the same. Six, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can only put one low digit somewhere in this row. I've already got 3 high in this column. But I've still got places to put 5s. I've got 3 low in this column. So hang on. 6, 7, 8, 9. If I could say that's not a 6, that would be useful, but I don't see how I can do that. "50 videos of missing obvious things." I'm not going to stop now. Okay, this is dark grey. So if... feels like that kind of has to be blue. But I can't see how to prove that. Three, 7 locks out 1289. 3, 8 locks out 129. Yep, that's all fine. 3... hang on, 3 can't have 6 on the other end. It's not far enough away. So that can't be 7. It's not locked out. I've now got a 7, 8 pair. This is a 9. Should have seen that before. This, yeah. Okay, so this is a 7, 8 pair. That's a 9. That doesn't give me much, except that's not a 9. They're 7, 8, so they're 1, 2, 3. I can't put 4 in there anymore. This is 6, 7, or 8, but I can put 1 in both of those. Have I missed anything else like that? 3, 7, 8, 7, 8, 2, 3, 8, 4 works. How can I restrict that if I've forgotten something obvious here? 8, 4, 8. This is a 7, 8 pair. So whatever goes on here has to be 6 or 9. And it can't be 6. Because if it was 6, both of those would have to be this. Yeah, so there is a 9 in one of those two. Hang on, that can't be a 7 now, because 7 isn't locked out by 9. 8. That 8 makes that a 7, because an 8 wouldn't lock it out, which makes that an 8, which makes that a 9. There is no 8 there. This is a 6 or a 7. One, 2 is locked out by the low being 3 in all of them. That's an 8, which means that has to be a 9 because it has to be locked out by the 8. That makes that a 7. In order for the 7 to be locked out, that must be a 6, which takes 6 out of there. I've got a 7, 8 pair. That's low. There must be a 6 in there somewhere, which means one of those two is a 6. In fact, that's a 6, 9 pair, which means, of course, they're all the highs. 6 is in there, and I've got all of the high digits. Now, 6 has to go next to 1 because of the German whispers line. 1, 2 is okay for 8 and 9. 1, 2 for 8 and 9. 1, 2 for 8 and 9. 1, 2 for 8 and 7. 1, 2, 3 for 8 and 9. I can't put anything other than a 2 next to the 7, and that makes that a 3. That takes a 3 out of there. So this is now low. This is a 4-5 pair. So one of those is going to be 1 or 2. One of those is going to be 7 or 8. That 7 is making that 8 and making that 7. So one of those is going to be 8. So they're 1, 2, or 8. This has to be 1 or 2 because that's all that can be next to a 7 on a whispers line. How have I not figured any of this out? Three. There we go. 6, 7, 8, and 9 all looking at that cell. Those must be, not those ones. Those 3 must be blue, which makes those yellow, and that's unexpected. So this is a 3, 4 because it sees 1, 2 in multiple ways. These are a 1, 2. These are 7, 8, and 9. That can't be 8. That can't be 7 or 9. That is 8. That can't be 8. That's 7 or 9. There's a 6, 9 there. That's a 7. Pardon me. That's a 9. This is 3, 4, 6. It's still 1, 2, 3, or 4. But now I've got all of the blues and a 5. That must be high. And it must be a 7 because I can see 6, 7, 8, and 6, 8, and 9. 7, 7. 7 must go in one of those 2. 7 was there. That would be a 1, 2. I've got to put a 6. Oh, most of these are low. I haven't restricted 6 up there at all. 8 must be in one of those 2. 9 must be in one of those 2. And because the 9 must go here, because I can't put the 6 there, that must be 9. That must be 7. That is not 9. And that's because we forced the 9 into there because the other option was 6, and 6 would put a duplicate 1, which we can't have. 7 can only go with 1 or 2. These are high. This is a 1, 2 pair in the box. So these are 3, 4, and 6. If this was a 6, this would have to be a 1, and I cannot put a 1 in that cell. That cannot be a 6. That is a low. It is a 3, 4. So 6 is in one of those 2. That can't be a 3. 3 is in one of those 2. This actually has to be a 4 or a 6. If that's a 4 or a 6, this is a 1 or a 9. Can I narrow that down? Don't seem to be able to. So this can't be a 5. It could be 4, 6, or 9. Can't be. So this is a 4 or a 6. So these are different, meaning this has to be a 1 or a 9 as well. So I've got a 1, 9 pair. That puts 1 onto that because I've got a 1, 9 there, I've got a 1, 2 pair there, and I've got a 1 looking into it. So 1 has to go in there, which makes that a 2. That's a 1. That's a 2, which I could have got from that. There is no 2 there. Can I narrow this down? This is high. So it's either 6 or 8, and it can't be 6 because I can't put a 1 there. That's an 8. So these are now a known triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7 Well, I can't put 7 there, so that's a 7, so that becomes high. So that's a 4 or a 6. So we've got a 4, 6 pair. That one is the same as that one, which means... No, it doesn't mean it goes there, because it could be a 4 and go there, I think. Got to put a 9 in one of those two. 9 is right there because of that 9. So that's a 9 and high. Which means that's a 1. Which means light grey is now blue. And dark grey is now yellow. So that's a 9. That's a 6. That's a 4. The 4 looks over making that 6. I'll make that yellow. I can take 6 out of there. That becomes blue. I need to put 2, 5, and 6 into here. That's not 2. In here, I need to put 1, 4, and 7. 7, we know 1 can't go there. 7 can't go there. I need to put a high digit on here. So this can't be 1, 4. So that must be the 7. That must be the 1. That must be the 4. So these are low. This is high. I feel like I am going to need to take 5 after this because... Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, this is a 4, making that low. This is low and is 1, 2, or 3 to complete all of those. Oh, 2, 8. 3 isn't locked out by 2 or 8. I've had that for ages. 2, 3. 3, 8, 1 and 2 is locked out. Yeah, that 2 had given me a lot more ages ago. So that is not a 4. 4 is in one of those two, which are, yep, 3, 6. So this is 3 or 6. That 3, there is no 3 there. There's no 6 there. That's a 4. So that is low. So I've now got all the low digits. This is 1 because there's a 2, 3 there. So this is 2, this is 3, and this is 6, making that a high digit. The 3 looks over, making that 4 and that 3. The 1 looks over, making that 2 and that 1. Finally, 4 looking down, making that 5, and that is the low 4. 2 looks up, making that 1 and that 2. And I think I've now taken the 5. Hopefully we're just cleaning up now. 9 looking down, making that 6 and that 9. It's probably been there forever. 3, 6, and 8, which should be fully resolvable. I should have just done it. So that's a 3. That can't be 3 or 6, so that's 8, meaning that has to be 6. 3 is low, 8 and 6 are high. So far the count is good. I think this box, so I need to put a 1 right there. Let's make that low. I need to put a 3 in to one of those two. I need to put a... let's do this differently. 3, 4, and 6. 6 can't go there. So this is a 3 or a 4. So that is low, but I don't know about those. And I don't know if I'm just being oblivious here. So I need to put a 2 into this central box, which must go somewhere in there, but not there. 3. I've got 4. Has to be in one of those two. 5 is in one of those two. There is no 5 there. 6 is in one of those 4. 7, 7, that's a 7. leaving that as the only place for a 2. Seven, 2, that gives me my 4, 6 pair. That 2 takes 2 out of there. I still haven't done 8, which must go right there. And 9, which I've got. So is this the only place for a 6? Yes, because in the column I need 2 and 6, and there's a 2 looking at it. So this is a 6, so that becomes high. This becomes 2. 5, 6 pair would have given me that. The 6 makes that a 4 and that a 5, so the 4 becomes low. This becomes 6, and I take 6 out of there. So this is finally low, this is finally high, this is low. That 5 makes that a 6, so that becomes high, and I think I've now done all the high-low colouring. And I just need to disambiguate this 3, 4 pair. 8 cannot be next to 4. That's a 3. That's a 4. That's a 3. Put in a 4 and complete take 5. Not quite the 50th puzzle I've done, because I've done some videos with multiple puzzles, but it is the 50th video down, dusted, completed. May not be my best solve, but I'm pretty happy with it. Thank you, everyone. It's been fun. I'm not stopping. I'm hoping to do more. I'm hoping other setters and the setters who've graced me with puzzles in the past will continue to do so. And just please remember, I'm doing this as a hobby. I'm not trying to be a Simon or a Mark from I'm doing it again. From Cracking the Cryptic. I am just trying to have some fun solving puzzles and sharing it with other people. I'm using a calculator because I find it easier and more enjoyable to do it that way. I'm using it less and less as I do get more experienced, but I don't feel ashamed to have to do that. And yeah, it's just a bit of fun. And if you find the way I solve too slow or too frustrating, solving on camera is really stressful. You miss obvious stuff all the time because you're just panicking about what should I be doing, and because you're panicking about what should I be saying, what should I be doing, am I saying the wrong thing, am I looking in the wrong place, you're not at your solving best. And I'm not a great solver at the best of times, but hopefully people enjoy the videos, and if they do, great. And if they don't, well, there's lots of other places. Go check out Ranks. Go check out Scott. Go check out Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. And of course, Cracking the Cryptic, giving you so much content that you just would never run out. Thank you, everyone. This has been fun, and I look forward to maybe 50 more.